Yo mama's so stupid. She brought a spoon to the Super Bowl! Yeah!
Salutations, the name's Cavill. You know, I'm at an age where I'm trying to get people to see me as an adult. For some reason, it's not working out. Anyways, yo mama. It was to YouTube in 2012 what Hell of a Boss was to YouTube in 2020. Sure, we don't look back too fondly, but admit it, we all ate this up at the time. The most talked about aspect would have to be the animation, because it is incredibly good by 2012 standards. They opted for character rigs over frame by frame, which was a very expeditious move. Those tools were far less refined back then. It deserves so much respect, but hear me out, the designs in this show are hideous. It's clearly to mock these women, but there are ways to draw an ugly character who's still easy to look at. The other problem would be, there isn't enough facial animation. They sometimes move their eyes and rarely their mouths, but for the most part they hold one permanent expression. Once you notice it, you never really stop noticing it, and these two problems and Yo Mama squarely in the uncanny valley. Despite that, we need to appreciate this animation in a 2012 context. The only thing you could really compare it to was Ed's World, but this show clearly has the superior backgrounds and movement.
Yo mama's so fat that she needs cheat codes for We Fit!
For the most part, I'm sure some of these models were not easy to work with. There are a lot of cameos in these shorts, and their designs can be very hit or miss. Slender Man looks fine, but something went very wrong with Shrek. Now enough beating around the bush. You watch a Yo Mama video for one reason only, to laugh. How does this channel deliver? Well, there are 7 types of jokes, and I might as well rank them worst to best. The rarest joke is Yo Mama's so hairy, and that's because there only is one joke. She resembles an animal.
So hairy! They filmed the National Geographic in her bathroom.
I mean, there are a few outliers, but they're very uninspired. I can see why they avoid this one like the plague. The same problem is in Yo Mama So Poor. Every joke is that she values garbage. There's a lot more variation than with the hairy jokes, but it still gets pretty repetitive.
So poor! She hangs toilet paper out to dry.
This might be a good time to mention that this show can get really gross. Be ready for all manner of literal shit on the screen. Thing is, the animation is so cheap that it doesn't really bother me. Gross Out needs a lot of stylization to get the full effect, and this shit looks like it does in the new Magic School Bus. It sounds like I'm complaining, but I'm not really. This way you get all of the shock with no discomfort, which I consider a lot more tolerable. Next is Yo Mama So Short, which once again is the same thing every time. She uses something small as if it were something big.
So short! She committed suicide by jumping off the bed. Oh, come on! Those are $300!
The only funny part is that the host seems to really hate her. If you remember anything from this show, it's definitely his voice. There's a reason he has so many memes.
So stupid! She bought tickets to Xbox Live! So stupid! She tried to climb Mountain Dew! It's not the point here. The point is your mom's ugly and you should feel bad.
The voice actor has such comedic timing and convincing shouts. Regardless of whether you find his jokes funny, it's clear how much fun Brody is having, and that's contagious. Brody's a character though, he's a perfect example of what worked on 2012 YouTube. This was the era of Angry Video Game Nerd, I Hate Everything, Shane Dawson, Smosh, Grade A Under A. Testosterone was trendy, and Brody was a huge part of that. He's written with a hint of irony, however. As much as he hates Hello Kitty, he sure loves Kirby and Hot Wheels, and these moments just make him so lovable. Next is Yo Mama So Stupid, which is nothing but puns.
So stupid! She thought seaweed was something that fish smoke. So stupid! She made an appointment with Dr. Pepper. So stupid! She went to the dentist to get a Bluetooth!
I mean, they aren't terrible puns, but they're just puns. I wanted to give some kind of insightful analysis, but they're just puns. Next, Yo Mama So Ugly, which is a weird one. Remember the cameos I mentioned earlier? For some reason, they're pretty much exclusive to the ugly jokes.
So ugly! Bob the Builder said,
I can't fix that. So let's bury her.
I don't know why this show is structured like this, but let's talk about these references. Have you watched Disaster Movie? This is the exact same thing. Blind references that don't even give the impression the creator knows what he's referencing. Everybody's here. Twilight, Sonic, Thriller, One Dimension, Scooby-Doo, Where's Waldo, Hello Kitty, Medusa, Freddy Krueger, Nine Cat, Scorpion, even the Scary Maze game. Having a copyrighted character react to ugliness is probably just easier than stupidity or hairiness. Now, I may have noticed a pattern. If you're poor, you have to savor every scrap. If you're stupid, you have misunderstandings. If you're ugly, people don't want to look at you. If you're old... Oh shit, I forgot that one. Point is, each trait has only one basic effect on someone's lifestyle, which gives every joke the same punchline, and it's why the fat jokes stand out.
So fat! When she walked by the TV... You missed the entire show! So fat! Her belly button gets home 15 minutes before she does! So fat! When Dracula sucked her blood, he got diabetes!
Individually, these three jokes are nothing unusual, but let's have a closer look at those setups. First, being fat makes her move slowly. Second, being fat makes her stomach protrude forwards. Third, being fat makes her body unhealthy. And there are plenty more setups I could go into. Being overweight affects someone's lifestyle in so many ways they made a reality show about it, so the fat jokes are leagues less predictable. Hence, they're the ones I laugh at most frequently, even if they have a tendency to end on a fart. There's one problem all these jokes share, however, they're Yo Mama jokes, which have several problems just conceptually.
Yo Mama's so stupid. She went to the jewelry store to get a new ringtone.
You might notice they told this joke very slowly, and yet it only lasted 5 seconds. That means for the YouTube standard 10 minutes, you would need to tell 120 jokes. Even if that wasn't an absurd demand, the audience would just be fatigued at that point. The show gets around this by giving each joke an epilogue that's twice as long as the joke itself.
Oh, come on, lady. Seriously? Just download ringtone remixes. Oh yeah, it's my jam.
While I occasionally laugh at the jokes, I have no excuse for these epilogues. They're pure filler and shameless about it. The other problem with Yo Mama jokes, they're inherently immature. You obviously can use them any age, but they're a crush that comedians are supposed to outgrow. Every age group has their own version. Knock knock jokes mean someone funny is at the door, here's who. Walking into a bar jokes mean a funny interaction happened and here's what. Yo Mama jokes mean your mother is undesirable and here's why. There's something pathetic about a comedian using this format for over a decade, which brings us to the elephant in the room.
Yo Mama's so Karen! She asked if there was a manager among us!
Thus far, I've only talked about the channel historically. Its current state is a different beast entirely. Two major problems have grown and festered like tumors. One is that they introduce new types of mothers to mock. Yo Mama's so Karen, strict, religious, American. I could go on, but they don't seem to have any actual ideas for these characters. They're just a boring way of technically producing more content. You want to see how desperate this gets?
Yo Mama's teeth are so yellow. I can't believe it's not butter.
There are two other additions, Yo Daddy jokes, which I'm not touching, and something more interesting. They thought to reverse the original 7 jokes, creating Yo Mama so skinny, hot, rich, tall, and smart. I'm not sure why they skipped bald, but I know why they skipped young. The problem, all humor derives from some kind of misery, and these jokes are just kinda not even jokes.
So rich! She bought the Infinity Gauntlet off Thanos!
However, it's time we finally acknowledge that elephant. Other than our nostalgia, Yo Mama's known for one thing and one thing only, selling out.
So evil! Her favorite game was Squid Game! So fat! Huggy Wuggy couldn't give her a full hug! So short! She walked under Trump's border wall!
You know what? Let's start positive. The references don't center around the ugly one anymore, and they don't feel so shallow, honestly. Brody at least seems like he's watched Squid Game. Unfortunately, that's where the positivity ends. They used to do references for the sake of easy punchlines, but at this point, they're clearly desperate for the 8-year-old Garden of Ban demographic. They usually try a little harder than just shouting the product's name, but other times...
So fat! He ate Sonic!
You may have also noticed a change on Brody. He doesn't shout with nearly the conviction he used to because he's completely lost that conviction. He's always whining or being ordered around by these women.
So strict! She even made the imposter finish all their tasks!
Nuh-uh, you got tasks to do!
Wait, what? But I'm the imposter! I don't have to do any tasks!
Everyone's gotta do tasks, even you! Now get back to your tasks, or I'll whoop your ass!
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, it's a more realistic portrayal of people who call themselves macho, but he just doesn't have the fun energy he used to. Most negative reviews are made because the product is annoying, contrived, offensive, or just mediocre. I'm tempted to put Yo Mama in the last category, but if I'm honest, I'm just here to reminisce. Click on any of their new uploads and the top comment will be someone lamenting that such a stupid channel is part of their childhood. It represents a part of life that we all leave behind, but unlike Stampy Longhead, we still want to look back from time to time. Regardless, we certainly did leave it behind, as Yo Mama now sits at 5.5 million subs while their views struggle to reach 1% of that. If I'm not the first person to give Yo Mama a deeper look, I'll definitely be the last. But why is that? Children are the most lucrative demographic on this site after all. Well, for one thing, despite the budget clearly going up, these models are still ugly as sin, so there goes the Cocomelon fanbase. Secondly, channels like FGTV have content so effortless they can upload daily, which the algorithm sees as catnip. Animation can only get so cheap. This show, for example, cost $250,000. You'd think this would slow Yo Mama down, but no. Check their channel and you will see daily uploads. Do they have an entire third world country animating these? Well, no, the answer is actually quite boring. They repost constantly. I don't mean they re-upload the same videos with the same titles and thumbnails, rather, they seem to have a massive backlog of jokes. Each video seemingly has a new joke at the start and spends the rest of the runtime shuffling through old ones. I say seemingly because I could only watch so much. 30 more Yo Mama videos were posted during the production of this 12-minute review. If they weren't referencing so many current trends, I'd think they stopped animating years ago. How did they get away with breaking the TOS this much? My theory is that the cringe drives away all the viewers within the first minute, and no one ends up seeing the recycled content. In my opinion, this is the core reason they see so little web traffic. TMOS boss taught us that quantity means nothing without watch time. If you upload every day but people immediately click off, then YouTube sees your content as worthless. And is it correct? Every compliment I've given this show has come with several caveats, so is there anything this show did genuinely well? In my opinion, yes. One thing, dark humor.
So stupid! She studied for a drug test. By taking all of the drugs. So old. When I told her to act her age, she freaking died. So stupid. When she got locked in a grocery store, she starved to death.
I don't even know why, but I laugh whenever they go dark. Maybe just fitting for such a dead channel.